It was an evening like many others, in a seaside town that seemed asleep in the winter and woke up in the summer to music, laughter, and the smell of mixed fried fish. That Saturday, a group of kids had met at the usual place on the seafront to have a drink and tell each other exaggerated stories between loud jokes and senseless challenges. The air was crisp, the lights low and the glasses full. They were young, carefree, and convinced that they had the world at their feet. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. Among them was Ricardo, the most charismatic of the group, always ready to show off. At one point, with a glass in his hand and his ego sky high, he declared, "The next woman who walks through that door will fall at my feet. Shall we bet?" Tommaso, his best friend, laughed heartily. "Come on, Ricardo, get off your pedestal. Are you sure you're not overestimating yourself a little too much?" "Let's bet. Whoever loses will have to do something really embarrassing, like seduce a homeless woman and take a picture together to prove it." Everyone's eyes lit up with amazement mixed with excitement. It was a challenge to the limit, but no one backed down. The door of the club opened and an elegant woman walked with a determined step towards Ricardo. She threw herself on his neck and kissed him on the cheek. It was all orchestrated by him, obviously. He had asked an old friend to play the part just to win the bet. Tommaso lost, and as agreed, it was up to him to attempt the impossible. The next day, the boys met downtown to help Tommaso transform. They dressed him in dirty clothes, worn-out shoes, and rubbed some dirt on his face. He had to look like one of them, one of those who sleep on the streets hoping that some homeless person would lower their guard. It won't be difficult, Tommaso thought. A stupid thing to tell in the future, a game. But something inside him was starting to waver, perhaps the cold of the morning or the acrid smell that permeated the air in the most hidden streets of the city. He had never seen that reality. A small makeshift settlement had been created near the abandoned station. Tents, blankets, mattresses thrown on the ground, a fire lit in a bin. Tommaso walked among them with his heart in his throat. There were tired faces, wrinkles too deep for age, calloused hands that were just looking for a little warmth. Some were laughing, others were shouting. Someone was drinking from a bottle hidden in a bag. Then he saw her, a woman sitting alone, her head down and her hands covered by cut-off gloves. She was wrapped in a brown coat that was too big for her hair unkempt and hiding her face. Tommaso approached. She didn't seem friendly, but he started talking anyway. He made up a story. He had been kicked out of his house by his parents. He had been sleeping on the street for a short time. He didn't know anyone. The woman looked up, absorbed in the music she was listening to, and for a moment it seemed she could actually see him. She didn't speak Italian well, but she smiled at him faintly. She asked him if he had eaten. She began to bite into a sandwich that she would have gladly shared with him. "I've already eaten, thanks," Tommaso said, touched by that gesture. They continued talking. She explained to him that when it wasn't raining, it was better to sleep near the heating vents behind the old motel. It was warm there and no one bothered them. "And the shower?" he asked, almost forgetting why he was there. The woman smiled wistfully. "The shower is the dream. In public bathrooms, in service stations, sometimes in fast food restaurants if you blend in with the crowd. But it's not easy." Tommaso felt small, guilty. She felt sorry for him. She truly believed he was like her. She decided it was time to do something concrete. "I have some money. How about we take a room at the motel to wash up? That's all, nothing more, I swear." She stared at him for a few seconds, then agreed. She followed him unsteadily to the motel. Her friends not far away were laughing and filming everything from the car window. But Tommaso didn't even look at them. They went into the room. She asked if she could go to the bathroom first. When she came out in her bathrobe, Tommaso was speechless. The woman under those layers of dirt. She was beautiful and happy to have washed up, young with long black hair and deep eyes. "Can I know your name?" he asked, still dazed. "My name is Alma," she replied. Tommaso sat on the bed. His heart was pounding. The bet was now forgotten. He asked her about her life, and Alma, finally at ease, began to tell her story. She had come to Italy from a small town in South America. An agency had promised her a job as a nanny. She spoke a little English. She loved children. But as soon as she landed, they had taken away her documents and sent her to a brothel. She had managed to escape, but without an identity and without money, she had nowhere to go. She had found something in a dumpster and had hidden among the homeless to survive. Tommaso listened in silence, his throat tightening. Finally, he took her hand and said, "Don't worry, I'll help you." The next morning, while Alma was sleeping, Tommaso sneaked out. He went to buy some clean clothes for her and then called his father, a highly respected lawyer in town. He told him everything. Together, they set in motion a plan to give her new documents and report the criminal agency. When he returned to the motel, he confessed the truth to Alma. He told her about the bet, the disguise, the lie. She looked at him with eyes full of disappointment, but listened to the end. When she understood how much he was doing for her, she cried, not with anger, but with relief. The following months were complicated. Alma moved to Tommaso's parents' country house. She helped her mother around the house, took care of her little sister, learned Italian, and smiled more every day. Tommaso never spoke about the bet with his friends again. For him, it had become a wound and a lesson. He understood that being an honest man was much more important than being a hero in the eyes of others. When Alma finally got her documents and a flight home, Tommaso accompanied her to the airport. She had her passport, her ticket, and a heart full of gratitude in her hand. She hugged him for a long time, ready to say goodbye. But as she was about to get on the plane, she stopped suddenly. She turned and looked at him. "I don't want to leave anymore," she said with tears in her eyes. "I realize that my home is you." Tommaso held her tight and kissed her with infinite sweetness. And for the first time in his life, he understood what it truly meant to love. It wasn't a bet that changed him. It was her. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.